Hey, back at it. I have the 1982 made in Japan Fender Stratocaster, this time running through a few more effects, a looper pedal, and improvising. That's always totally hit or miss. So I'll have to check back and see if that was hit or miss. But hello. And I have something sort of interesting. I found the original pickups. So these have been out of this guitar for decades, literally. They're 42 years old. And they're have not been used in any other context ever since they've been pulled. But I have no idea what they would sound like back in the thing, and I'm not gonna mess around any further modificationifying this guitar, because I love it. So, but I do have the pickups. I was thinking about it after I made the previous video about this guitar. I was like, where are those things? I thought I had the white plastic pickguard. Turns out it's from a jazz bass that's about 10 years older that I still have. And I should make a video with that. Really love that thing. It's a made in Mexico jazz bass. from like 1990 or 89. Before I got this guitar, I had a Hondo 2 that I spoke about before, and took lessons at a store in Evanston, Illinois called Guitar Works, and my teacher's name was Don Coates, and it was down in the basement, in like a really creepy, celery, under the street kind of basement with these little rooms. And I remember those first lessons, and you know, they were 30 minutes. My mom would drop me off, and I would kind of walk my guitar downstairs, and Don was like into blues and folk, and I think he just had an acoustic guitar, and there was an amp in the room, but he was fine, or he'd prefer if I would just sit there and, you know, discuss what was going on, just not even need to plug in. But all I wanted to do at that point in my guitar playing career was just rock out, like just plug in to an amp and turn up and just hear noise, you know, hear any amount of sound in that way was like, you know, gave me goosebumps. I couldn't play anything per se yet at all. So he was teaching me stuff like Bob Dylan songs and things like that. This is, you know, what did we say, 83, this was before I got this guitar, so 81 and 82, probably 1980, 81, 82. I started on acoustic, then I got the Hondo 2, and one time I walked the Hondo through Guitar Works toward the stairs where the lessons were, and this kid, who knows how old he was, but he was a lot older than me, and so I thought he was super cool, and he was dressed like head to toe like Jimi Hendrix, and had his vibe, like he was like a Jimi Hendrix guy. And so I remember him saying, "Hey, little man," like it was like a commercial or something. He's like, "You want me to rock out on your guitar?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he took it from the case and he goes, "Hondo 2. Hondo." He's like, "Yeah. Best of the worst, worst of the best." And then he like rocked out, did some Hendrix thing right in the middle of the store, like through one of their amps, and then handed it back to me. I think that's how it went down. He handed it back to me. It was just like, "Hondo, best of the worst, worst of the best." Oh man, I couldn't decide how to take that, you know, but I was like, he was, you know, I wanted to be like him, so I was just like, "Oh, thanks." And I took my guitar back downstairs and played like some kind of folk songs with Don. And I remember those lessons, and it's kind of an interesting thing. I was thinking about how, you know, we have all these modern tools and YouTube and so much material now. So many people have you know, posted lessons material and tab for learning songs and video of people playing, so you can really watch, because I didn't have that when I was a kid. I couldn't really see what anyone was doing, and I didn't really understand. So like trying to figure out stuff from records, I wouldn't necessarily know that if it was two guitars or one guitar. I had no idea what slide guitar was, and so I could hear that, but I didn't know how they got that. So I kind of developed a lot of bending based on that. I didn't know what a slide was. And so I would mimic kind of those type of licks with a bending. And I was just thinking of how much of a gift it is to be able to like watch a ton of videos about one specific subject from a few different perspectives, or different teachers, or different players, different angles, different guitars, different approaches to the same thing. Maybe you could just look at one thing and get so much of a level of depth to it, where, you know, when I was growing up, it was really based on my own just sitting there and playing, figuring stuff out of my imagination, or the records that I had, I could play along with them, or get together with other people that I knew that were musicians and play with them. So, you know, I think around the same time I got a 4-track cassette recorder, so I could make 4-track tapes, which I started writing songs using 4-track technology. And that was a big part of how I started creating my own music, was just maybe copying stuff a little bit, doing what I had learned in my lessons, and then just really experimenting, just little by little figuring things out. So it was a slow growth in the early days. I think that a modern student can learn way faster using all the tools that we have, and just being able to spend, if you're interested in learning guitar, you could spend a lot of time in a short period of time, like all day or something, learning stuff. Whereas, you know, when I was a kid, it was more like waiting for the Wednesday 3 to 3:30 lesson that seemed to go really fast. And, you know, I still have the books. I should break those out sometime. Where, you know, he would write down chords for me to play. And I remember having trouble singing and playing at the same time. And I learned how to play. Then I got this guitar and I kept going. I still was taking lessons from Don, I think. Or maybe I had moved on. I had a couple of teachers over the years, and learned a lot of music on this instrument. You know, like, I think that it's a difficult instrument to learn music theory on, a guitar. Because I learned it visually with shapes, you know. I would write songs like that, you know. Things would be like boxes and lines, and that's how I would remember things. And then just would remember the name, like, okay, that's a A major 7 chord. It makes a line. You know, that's how I would think of it, which is a really abstract way of putting together an idea of what music theory, or just, you know, music theory, I think is kind of a lame way sounding phrase, you know, but just how the mechanics of music, so that you could make more of your music, you know, with more tools. I think it's easier done on piano. That's what I'm getting at with all this rambling. When I moved to piano, I was able to learn the harmony a lot better and see how it all fit together a lot quicker, and deeper. I think that's all I have to say for today. Hopefully going to make more of these casual guitar hangout talking videos. If you're enjoying them, then thank you for supporting me here with this. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and please be nice in the comments. Have a good day.